10 African countries with the fastest growing economy. African countries have tremendous economic potentials with rewarding opportunities for investors and partners. Most of the famous growing economies on the continent are mostly the best African countries to invest in to foster economic growth and earn returns on investment. These countries have the highest GDP according to Statista, and that's the main yardstick for presenting this video. The International Monetary Fund recently released its World Economic Outlook database for October 2021 that features the organization's projected gross domestic product growth for countries across the world. It shows how African economies are expected to perform over the coming 2 years, ranked according to anticipated growth in 2022. Leading data and analytics company Global Data notes that the fastest growing economies in the region will be Morocco, Kenya, Ghana, Egypt, South Africa, and Nigeria, which are all forecast to register above 4% real GDP growth in 2021. Hello viewers, welcome to our channel. If you're new here, welcome. Please make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on post notifications in order not to miss out on any of our videos. In no particular order, here are 10 African countries with the fastest growing economy. Number 10. Ivory Coast. We are kicking off from the western side of Africa. Considered as one of the fastest growing economies in Africa, Ivory Coast is a top destination for investors in West Africa. Available statistics show that the country is a business portal with rewarding opportunities for investors. According to Statista, Ivory Coast GDP in 2021 stood at $70.99 billion. Ivory Coast has consistently ranked among the best African countries for expats and tourists to relocate to alike. Information from the African Development Bank shows that the Ivorian GDP could grow by 6.5% in 2022. The report further disclosed that transport, construction, agriculture and petroleum products are driving the growth. With these statistics, Ivory Coast is undoubtedly one of the fastest growing African economies at present. Number 9. Angola. When you hear of Angola, you can easily think of Libya. The oil-rich country of Angola has been subject to much controversies due to internal conflicts and border crises from insurgents. Angola is rich in oil and gas resources and agricultural lands. Investment risks and opportunities report in Angola suggest that the country is the second largest oil producer in Africa. According to Statista, Angola has a GDP of $66.49 billion. Trading Economics has forecast that the country's GDP could cross $100 billion by 2022. Trade, transportation, storage, construction and fisheries contribute to Angola's GDP growth. These sectors represent growth opportunities for investors. Number 8. Ghana. One of the earliest countries on mainland Africa to obtain its independence, Ghana has a natural tendency for leading in African global economic matters. According to Worldometer report, Ghana has a population of over 30 million. Statistics from Nairametrics show that Ghana's economy experienced a 3.9% expansion and a 6.6% growth in Q3 of 2021. The report described the growth as Ghana's fastest GDP growth rate since the COVID-19 outbreak. By the end of 2021, the country's GDP stood at $74.26 billion, according to Statista. According to a report by the CNBC Africa, Ghana is targeting a 5.8% GDP growth with benefits primarily driven by cocoa beans, crude oil, and minerals production. Moving side by side in par with her other Western African counterparts, Ghanaians can be proud of their economically emerging country. Number 7. Ethiopia. Ranked as the second largest African flour exporter and among the biggest producers of coffee worldwide, Ethiopia is rewarding for investors. According to the World Bank, the country has a population of over 115 million people. The country's economy recorded a 6.1% growth between financial years of 2019 and 2020. The The country's GDP stood at $93.97 billion, despite the ongoing war in the country. Ethiopia is probably the socio-political capital country of Africa, as it hosts various international headquarters for Africa. Investors can benefit from Reuters' prediction that the Ethiopian economy will expand in 2022 by 8.7%. The pace set by the government has rapidly found the country in the ranks of highest growing African economies. Number 6. Kenya. The country with over 56 million inhabitants, rapidly sprouting infrastructural projects, and a well-established market system, Kenya arguably has the most advanced economy in Central and East Africa. According to the World Bank's forecast, the country's resilient economy could grow at 4.9% in 2022, thanks to sound economic policies, management, and diversified sources. Trading Economics projects that Kenya's GDP could grow beyond its current level to $107 billion in 2022 and $110 billion in 2023. With high demand for goods and services, a robust economy, and a favorable business environment, Kenya is ideal for investment in 2022. Number 5. Morocco. Moving over to the North region of Africa, it's not at all strange to see Morocco emerge on this list. Available records show Morocco as the 5th largest economy by GDP on the African continent. According to Statista, Morocco's GDP stood at $124 billion as of 2021. Agriculture, investments, government, and the housing sector are factors determining the growth. Morocco has an efficient tourism industry, a tech sector, and industrialized infrastructural development patterns that give it all the tools to beat most of our northern counterparts in terms of economic growth. There were indications that the country's economic growth will rise by 3.2% in 2022. The country's economy is liberal, driven by the laws of demand and supply. Number 4. Algeria. There's obviously more to come from the north as we come across Algeria. Algeria's renewable energy, tourism, and liquidity reserve are foreign direct investment points. The country's economy relies on oil and gas, amounting to 60% of the state budget. Information from Statista shows that the Northern African country has a GDP of $151.46 billion as of 2021. The government of Algeria has recently enacted some laws encouraging foreign investment, and the nation offers rewarding business opportunities to investors. Number 3. South Africa. Would we ever be able to run through any list of major economic players on the African continent without mentioning the home country of Nelson Mandela? South Africa has had quite a rough past with apartheid, but how it emerged is a wonder. According to Trading Economics, South Africa is currently the most developed country in Africa, with services representing 73% of its GDP. Available data shows that South Africa's GDP in 2021 stood at $329.53 billion. The country's GDP benefits from business and government services, real estate, finance, communication, transport, and more. Data from Bloomberg indicates that South Africa's most industrialized economy could grow by 2% in 2022 and 2.1% in 2023. With the largest stock exchange on the continent, macroeconomic stability, and rewarding opportunities in social services expenditure. Number 2. Egypt. The land of the pyramids, the deserts, the Nile, and the gods of Egypt. There's every reason to visit this country. But let's focus more on their economic prowess. First off, according to the World Population Review, Egypt has a population of over 105 million. A report by Reuters indicates that Egypt's economy soared by 9.8% in Q1 of the 2021-2022 fiscal year that started in July 2021. Available statistics show Egypt as one of the wealthiest African countries by total GDP for 2021. Being specific, Egypt has the second highest GDP in Africa at $394 billion according to Statista. Despite the pandemic's effects, Egypt's GDP grew in 2021. The country has a mixed economy, profiting from fossil fuels, agriculture, and tourism, ideal for investors. Number 1. Nigeria. We're down to number 1 in this video of top 10 African countries with the fastest growing economies, and we're all the way back to West Africa. Nigeria had a remarkable year after missing the Rand Merchant Bank list of countries to invest in 2021. The country's GDP stood at $514 billion in 2021, thus emerging as the African country with the highest GDP, according to Statista. Nigeria's GDP rose by 4.03% in Q3 of 2021, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. The numbers represent the fourth consecutive growth quarter, but slower growth compared to 5.01% recorded in the second quarter of 2021. According to Trading Economics, communication, information and services represent 10% of the total output. Agriculture, natural gas and crude petroleum account for 11%, while construction, industry and main exports account for 16% of GDP. Although Nigeria has been plagued by northern insurgents, oil gas price fluctuations, and corruption, it still has the fastest growing economy in the whole continent, as well as being the most populated. That brings us to the end of this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and please do not forget to turn on notifications in order not to miss out on our future uploads.